Bankhori Hill was not very far from the city, yet it felt like a place discarded by time itself. The narrow, winding road that climbed upwards was unsettling even during daylight. Mobile networks died halfway, and several turned were so deeply sunken between rocks and trees that sunlight never reached them. At the top of the hill stood a village that no longer had an official name. People in the nearby town simply called it the upper village. Government records declared it abandoned 20 years ago. The story resurfaced when three people from the town disappeared within a single week. None of them were connected, no friendship, no blood relation, but witnesses saw all three heading towards the hill shortly before vanishing. Initially, the police assumed a tracking accident. That assumption collapsed when the third missing man's motorcycle was found near a broken temple at the top of the hill. The case reached district level, and from there it landed on the desk of ACP R.K. Verma. While reading the files, ACP noticed something disturbing. All three missing men had made a final missed call to the same number while traveling towards the hill. The number did not exist. No SIM record, no network trace, just a ghost like digital footprint. ACP reached the town at the base of Bankhori Hill that same evening. The locals evaded eye contact when the hill was mentioned. No one refused to talk, but no one agreed to accompany him either. One elderly shopkeeper finally spoke, "Sir, after sunset, no one stay up there. Night does not pass there, it stays." ACP planned to climb the hill in the morning, but after midnight, sleep abandoned him first. He woke to a sound, many footsteps moving together, not animal, not human. From his window, the road was empty. Only a cold wind flowed down from the hill, carrying a stench, wet wood mixed with something burnt long ago. Morning came heavy. As ACP climbed higher, the air thickened. Old stone pillars lined the road, marked with faded red symbols. Locals said there were once drawn outside house to keep them away. Who they were, no one answered. The village's first sight was wrong. Houses stood intact, doors were open but not broken. Utensils stayed where they had been left. Beds lay spread, dustless, as if someone had touched them recently. This was not a village people had felt. This was a village from which people had been removed. No birds, no insects, no sound. At the center lay a raised platform with a broken temple bell. The bell was rust free, and covered in fingerprints, as if someone touched it repeatedly without ringing it. When SCP lifted the bell, the air turned colder. His fingers went numb. He dropped it instantly. His radio cracked. Not words, just heavy breathing. Then one clear phrase, "Don't go down." Evening fell unnaturally. The path ACP had climbed now split into two identical routes, both leading downwards, both carrying the same stale, suffocating smell. ACP chose to stay. Inside an old house, black letters stained one wall. If the night is completed, then the sentence ended abruptly. In night, the first sound came, something dragging itself across the street. From the shadows, saps moved low, struck to the ground. Then more sound they many. At midnight, every door in the village opened at once. No winds, no hands. Inside each house, darkness. And within every darkness, two faint glowing points at the same height. Eyes. A voice rose, slow chorus. No one is left below. Now it's the upper village turn. The moment the bell trembled, the village inhaled. The air no longer stayed, it circled, colliding with hills, with walls, releasing the same scent over and over. Wet soil, old wood, burnt flesh. Footprint appeared in the dust, not of walking, but of stopping, as if something paused again and again, counting. A scream tore through the left eye. Not a human scream, more like air ripping apart. ACP ran. Outside the abandoned school stood the second missing man. His face was pale, lips blue. He tried to speak, but his throat released nothing. The ground beneath his feet began to shake. ACP grabbed his arms. The arm was not cold, it was damp. The man's head slowly bent backward. No force, no snap, like a rule being enforced. He sat down and never stood again. ACP fired his gun. The bullet struck the wall. On the wall, old red handprint pointing upward. The radio activated again. Many voices speaking in rhythm. Don't go down. Behind the village, a stone staircase descended into the hill, half buried during the day. Now it was open. The first rule became clear. Who goes down comes back up, but not the same. Inside the staircase, tools hung on the wall, smooth recently used. A small chamber halfway down had writing in carols. Don't let the night be completed. Dates followed, decades of them. Above the bell moved without sound. Eyes gathered at the stair entrance. The third missing man appeared, being pulled downwards. He whispered, if the night is completed, his body followed inward. He sat and remained. The village did not allow night to end. Night didn't pass here, it filled. ACP cracked the bell against stone. A fissure tore through the ground. Cold air burst out. Eyes flickered, a voice whispered once more. The command no longer came from outside, it came from the village itself. The fissure winded, something emerged, not a single being, but collected remains, layers of people, years of unfinished night. 20 years ago, beneath Bankhoria Hill lay a moving natural fault, a place that filled people falling. They were not retrieved to stop the nights from completing. Villagers ranged the bell, stayed awake, made noise. Then they left. Without closing the night, now the night returned to finish itself. ACP hardly the bell into the fissure. For the first time, metal rang. Names echoed, not screams, names. Eyes dimmed. Using the red marked stones, ACP steeled the fissure not with force but with memory. He flooded the airwaves with static, noise without rhythm, rules collapsed, the mass retreat, the ground sealed, no sunrise came. But the night broke, the village stood silent. Below the town felt the night and early. The case filed reached abandoned due to geological instability. ACP's diary read, "Some places are made of night. When leaving them, you must leave the night behind too." Pankhoria Hill still stand. The upper village still exists. And if someone stay there at night, they hear only one thing, a distant bell.